to my channel. Today I've got a really exciting tutorial for you guys. We're going to be making the cult Gaia dress that has been just everywhere and recreated by basically like every other brand. I think that it's so cute and will be great for vacation or just like wearing out. It's just so pretty. We're using a rather small yarn today. You'll only need just a hook, a darning needle, and your yarn, of course. So without further ado, let's get into the video. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for following me and watching my videos all this time. It means so much to me. All right, let's go. All right, so we're gonna start with the cup, and we're gonna start with a slip knot. Put it on your hook. And then you're going to make a chain that's long enough to reach from the bottom of your breast to around the top of your nipple. So I'm doing 25 chains. Alright, and then once you have your chains all done, you're going to make a half double crochet, not in the first loop, but the second loop from the hook. And we are going to continue making half double crochets all the way down the chain until you get to the end. Alright, and now once you're at the end, since we're doing a half double crochet, at the end we chain 2, flip our work like we're flipping a page in a book, and then we are going to go into that first stitch with a half double crochet and keep doing those half double crochets until you get to the other end. And then we've got a bit of a variation that we need to be mindful of, so don't be going ahead, but I'm just going to do this row and then I'll meet you when I get to the end of this row. Okay, so now that I'm at the end of the row, in that last hole that we just put a stitch into, we are going to put 7 more into that exact same hole. So now that we have the 7, now we are going to do half double crochets down the back side of our work. These stitches are a little bit harder to get into, but they're there. You'll see them. And just keep doing those half double crochets until you get to the end of your row, and then I'll meet you at the end of the row. So now that we're at the end here, I'm just going to chain 2, flip my work, and then keep doing half double crochets all the way up the side. But then I'll meet you when we get to this top here, because we're gonna do some increases at the top. So yeah, just regular half double crochets up the side. So once you get to the top here, I want you to find the stitch that's in the very center. And in that stitch, you are going to put 3 half double crochets in that one hole. So 1, 2, 3. And then you are just going to go down the rest of your row like normal with no more increases. Just half double crochets. And I'll meet you when I get to the end of the row. Alright, so now for this row, this is what we're going to do to repeat for the rest of the cup until you have enough to cover your whole breast. So this is just your repeat. If you need to come back to it and watch it again, this is the space to be at. So I'm chaining 2 like normal, and we are going to do half double crochets all the way up the side, and then in that top center point, increase 3, and then down the back side with just regular half double crochets. So we're going to start those half double crochets. And then I will see you at the very top center. Alright, so now that we're at the top, we are going to put 3 half double crochet stitches all in the same hole, that top center hole. and then just regular half double crochets down the back side. You're going to keep repeating this row over and over and over again until you have a cup that's large enough to cover your whole breast. So I'm going to do this because it's going to take me a lot of rows to get from this size to my actual breast size. And yeah, I will meet you there. So now that you've got a cup that will fit you, I want you to do half double crochet row all the way up to the top, to around the center stitch, and then we're going to make a strap to go around our neck. Pretend that this is just like a regular half double crochet row like you've been doing all along so far. And then when we get to the top, we'll make that chain for our strap. Alright, so now that we're at the top center, we are going to make a chain that's long enough to wrap around our neck. So I'm going to chain 175. And now that you have your long chain that's long enough to go all the way around your neck and tie, now I'm just going to do half double crochets down the chain. So I'm doing in the second loop from the hook, just putting half double crochets in every single stitch until I go all the way back down to the bra top again. So now that we've finished doing our half double crochet all the way down the strap, we're back at the cup. And now we are just going to find that first stitch, and we're going to continue doing half double crochets just down the other side of the cup. And see how that makes like a nice attachment for the strap. So I'm just going to continue doing my half double crochets until I get all the way down to the bottom, and then I'll let you know what to do. So now that we're back at the bottom, we are going to go back up the side just to the strap one last time before we have some variations, and then we'll start going down like this way to make the strap that goes around your back. So just another row of half double crochets, but you're stopping at the strap. So your last stitch will be that one. So this is what we are going to work on next. So if you can't really see it, this is where we are. And now we are going to decrease 1 every time we get to this side. So we're going to start this row with a decrease at the beginning, then we're going to go all the way down with regular half double crochets, then we're going to come all the way back up and then decrease at the end of that second row. So there's a decrease on every row, but it alternates from being the beginning or the end. So to do a half double crochet decrease, we are going to insert our hook into the first stitch, start our half double crochet, yarn over again, go into the very next stitch, start the half double crochet, and pull our hook through all 5 of those loops on the hook. And now we are just going to go down the row with regular half double crochet until we get to the end. And now that we're at the end of the row, I'm chaining 2, flipping my work, and it's just going to be regular half double crochets all the way to the top until we get to the last 2 stitches, and that's where we're making a decrease again. So now that I'm at the end with only 2 stitches left, I'm going to do another decrease. So insert, pull 1 through, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, pull 1 through, and pull through all 5. Chain 2, flip your work, And now since we're still on this side, I'm going to do another decrease immediately after. So insert, pull one through, yarn over again, insert, pull one through, yarn over, pull through all 5. I know that seems like immediate, and that might actually not be like the right way that you should be doing things, but that's the way that I do them, and that's how you get this. So yeah, I know all of my methods aren't always perfect. I may not explain it as perfect as I can, but I'm trying my best. So I'm just going to continue with my regular half double crochets, and we're decreasing on every single row, always on this top side near the strap. And we're going to keep decreasing and decreasing on every row until we only have 20 stitches left. This is going to be the back strap that will tie around our back. So once you only have 20 stitches left, then you're just going to go back and forth with no increases or decreases until you have a nice long strap that's long enough to wrap around your back and tie in a bow or in like a double knot, whatever you want, honestly. And then I'll just show you how to do this quick detail at the end. I think that it makes it look a little bit more finished and cute and kind of goes with that Cult Gaia style. So I'm just going to keep making my decreases and continue on with that strap. And I will meet you when I get there. Just for reference, it took me around 27 rows to get from the strap with then all my decreases down to like the 20, down to the part where we're not decreasing anymore. And then once I got to this part with no decreases or anything, I did around 95 rows to wrap around my back. Because remember, it's also stretchy, so make as much or as little as you think that you'll need, and then try it on and just kind of like hold it up against yourself if you're not quite sure. So now that you have your 95 rows of just regular half double crochet, this part is completely optional just to finish it off. I just think that it looks nice, and we're just going to end off the piece with a couple rows of decrease just to make it look nice. But if you don't want to do that, you could just tie off and finish the tops here. But so we are going to decrease 1 from each side, so at the start and the beginning of each row. So to do those decreases, I'm going to yarn over first, insert my hook, pull 1 through, yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull 1 through, and pull through all 5 loops. And then just regular half double crochet down the row. And now I only have 2 stitches left, so I'm inserting my hook, pulling 1 through, inserting again in the next stitch, pull 1 through, and pull through all 5. So decreasing at the start and end of each row. I just chain 2, flipping my work, and again we are going to decrease at the start, and then just regular half double crochets down the row. And now I only have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to decrease. This last one's a little bit difficult to get my hook into, but it's fine. Chain 2, and then just repeat that. I repeated that for a couple of rows until I only had 6 stitches left. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on. For the skirt, I want you to take a measurement around the widest part of your hip, so probably around midway around your butt. And then we are going to make a chain that is long enough to wrap around that. So I'm making a slip knot, and for me, I made 250 chains. So it's a bit of a marathon, but I'll meet you when I've gotten done that. So now that you've got a chain that's long enough to wrap around the widest part of your hips, we are going to do a half double crochet all the way down the chain. So starting in the second loop from the hook, I've yarned over, inserting, pull one through, pull through all 3. And we are just going to go down the whole chain just like that. And I'm going to keep doing that, so I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so now that I've reached the end, I'm going to take the opposite end that I started with and make them meet in the center like this. Make sure that it isn't twisted at all. So what I'm going to do is insert my hook into the other end and make a slip stitch. And now I'm just going to continue making half double crochets all the way across. And we're just going to continue going all the way around, and then I'll meet you when we get back to this starting point. Okay, so now when we got back to like this seam that we've made, we are just going to continue going over it with half double crochets. This will make it so that there's no ugly seam in the back of your skirt. It will just be like nice and smooth and like kind of like look like fabric all over, which I think is rather nice. So you have a lot of work ahead of you. This is a rather slow process, but I promise it's worth it because it looks so beautiful. But yeah, you're just going rows and rows and rows around in like a spiral. Just keep going with those half double crochets and persevere. I believe in you. And yeah, I will meet you when you have made enough skirt to go all the way down from around like your belly button height down to around your knee. All right, see you then. So now that you've got your skirt from around belly button height to down to your knee, now I want you to take a stitch marker or like a paper clip like I'm using and mark right where you stopped. It doesn't matter where you stopped, like in relation to around the circle kind of deal. That doesn't matter at all. We are going to put 2 half double crochets in every other stitch. So starting here, I'm putting in 1, 2 into the same hole, and then in the next stitch just 1 half double crochet. For the next one, I'm putting 2. 1, 2, and then just 1. And increase 1, 2, and then just 1, and 1, 2, and then just 1. So we're gonna go around the whole circle, increasing on every other stitch until we get back to this paper clip, and then we're gonna stop the increases and just do regular half double crochet until we have the length of the skirt that you want. Easy peasy, only a little bit more to go. So now that I've gotten back to my paper clip where I started my increases, you might be able to see a little bit of like rolling or like lettuce hemming, and that's what's going to make the bottom of the skirt come out a little bit more, so it's easier to walk in and it looks more like the dress from called Gaia. So now I'm just doing regular half double crochets in every single stitch, 1 per stitch, until I have the length that I want. So once you've made the bottom of your skirt to the length that you want it to be, for me that goes around to like ankle length because I want to wear like heels with it, then you just finish it off. You are going to make a slip stitch. It doesn't matter where you end, like in the circle, it's just going to flatten out anyways, so you don't need to worry about that. So we're going to make a slip stitch like that, then chain 1, snip it and tie it off, and you see how it makes kind of like this flat line around the bottom, so it looks like you've got a nice bottom hem. And now we're going to move on. So now we're going to make the little attachment triangle part that like attaches the cups to the skirt. So we are going to start with a new piece of yarn, make a slip knot, put it on our hook, and then you can choose anywhere to start. I'm just going to put it over here. And now this part, it works for any size, so you don't need to modify it or anything. And so now that I've inserted my hook, I'm going to make a slip stitch, chain 1, and in that very same stitch that we just put a slip stitch into, we are going to put a half double crochet. And now we are going to put a total of 69 more stitches, so total 70, just going across the top here. So total 70 half double crochets. That was 1, 2, 3, and so forth. And then I'll show you what to do once I get there. So now that we've built up 70 stitches, the pattern that we're going to follow is we are going to decrease 1 from each end on every single row for 29 rows until there's only 12 stitches left. So it'll go up like in a triangle shape until there's only 12 stitches left. So how we do those decreases, once we get to that end of the row, we are going to chain 2, flip our work, and then we insert in the first stitch, pull 1 through, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, pull 1 through, and then pull through all 5. And then we're just doing regular stitches all the way down the row. And then keep going until you only have 2 stitches left at the end here. So now that there's only 2 stitches left, we are going to do another decrease. So we're pulling one through, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, pull one through, and pull through all 5. Chain 2, flip your work, and we're decreasing on both ends on every single row. So right after we've turned around, we're decreasing again. So insert, pull one through, yarn over, insert, pull one through, and pull through all 5, and then continue regular down the row. And then at the end of your row, you are going to decrease again. Keep repeating that for a total of 29 rows. So by the end of this row, it'll be 28 until you only have 12 stitches left, and I will meet you there. All right, now that you have all of your decreases and you only have 12 stitches left, now we are just going to do 10 regular rows of half double crochet. This should be long enough to reach up to the bra part. And what we want it to do is have like a little fold over the little attachment so that it stays secure and so that it looks like the Gaia dress. So just 10 regular rows. If you think that you need more, like if you have a long torso or just need that extra length, go for it. It doesn't look that weird if it's like much longer or shorter, because like once it's actually on your body, it kind of like stretches out, and I think that it just looks really, it looks fine. So yeah, just 10 rows. Remember to chain 2 at the end, flip your work, and yeah, just keep doing those half double crochets. And now once you have those 10 rows of half double crochet, now you can tie off. So just chain 1, pull up a little bit, and tie off. Now we're going to work on the attachment to the cups. So now we're going to take our 2 cups and attach them together in the center so that we have something to tie that little like triangle part together. So I'm making a slip knot, putting it on my hook. And now with the 2 center points of our cups, I'm kissing them together so that they line up nicely. Now with my hook, I'm going to insert it into the end of both pieces. Get that little nub out of the way. And now I'm going to make a single crochet. And now we're going to make 9 more single crochets going into both pieces. So we go into the front and the back piece, and single crochet, front and the back piece, single crochet. So it's a total of 10 stitches that we're doing. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now I'm just chaining 1, pulling up a little bit, snipping and tying off. And now when you flip it right side out, it should look like this. And that's our top. So now that I have my top and my skirt, I'm going to take this centerpiece and wrap it around like that. So it's just folded across the back, and when you flip it over, it looks like this. Now to attach, we are going to make a slip knot. and insert both in the front part of like this little triangle strap part, as well as the back where we folded it over. And I'm going to make a slip stitch. Now we're going to grab our scissors and leave like a good, like, I don't know, 8 inches of thread left over and snip. And then you're going to loop that through and tie off. There we go. Now we are going to take our darning needle and put your thread into the needle. And you don't need to tie or anything. I just kind of like hold it so it's like looped through a little bit. And now with the front and back of this little piece that we folded over, we are just going to sew in and out all the way across so that it is nice and secure. Add a couple extra stitches to the end, and then in your last one you're going to put your needle through, and then with the loop of your leftover thread you're going to pull that end through to make a knot, and then we're just going to make another knot and try to get it as close to the fabric as you can. So I just put my thumb down on it and pull. And do that a couple more times until you have like a couple of knots that land right on top of each other. Now you can snip your excess. Make sure to snip all of your excess threads that you have hanging around still, or weave it in, and we're all done. Let's see what it looks like on.